Nevertheless, both laws were given of God, and now I had read these things, and I did wonder concerning them, and I did take leave that I might pray unto God to know more concerning these things. And God did speak unto me, saying, My servant Ahkman, you have read those covenants and laws I made with your ancestors, and they were to be my chosen people, for they were an elect people and special unto me. Wherefore I caused that the two laws of your ancestors should come together. For unto the children of Israel I did offer unto them a greater law. But behold, when my servant Moses did come down from that sacred mountain, he beheld that the children of Israel had constructed and worshipped a false god. And he was angered, and he dashed the stones of my law into pieces, and he returned again to the mountain. And I beheld the wickedness of the Israelites, wherefore I did send another law unto them. And this law was to prepare them for the law of which they were not yet ready. Yet unto the earlier inhabitants that I led into this land was not given the law of Moses, for they did remain in that law I gave unto the fathers, for they had no need of the preparatory things. Now, when these two people came together upon these islands, there was much contention, for the two refused to accept the laws of the other. Nevertheless, I caused that the laws should be unified, and in this thing did your ancestors become unified. And so it shall be with you, Ahkman, for I have prepared this law for your people, and it is the selfsame law which was given unto your ancestors. Wherefore I shall reward the faithfulness of your people, for your people have become a special and chosen people unto me, and they have found favor with me. Wherefore I will remember them and bless them forever. These things did God speak unto me, and I did speak them unto the people. Chapter 10. Now I did teach unto the people those commandments which went forth from the hand of God unto Moses. O children of Suran, I have been a servant of the Lord for 21 years, and I have been high priest for 8 years. And all this time I have lived the commandments of our God, even those 10 commandments which were given unto Moses. Now the first commandment which was given was this: the Lord is God, and that we should not worship any other gods than he. The second commandment was that we should not make any graven image, nor should we create an image of things in heavens, nor in the earth, nor in the water. Also that we should not bow down to worship these images. The third commandment being that we should not take upon us the name of the Lord in vain. For by doing that which is not the Lord in the name of the Lord is a lie, and dishonoureth the Lord in the eyes of men. And he who doeth such a thing shall not be held guiltless. The fourth commandment was that we should remember the Sabbath day. For verily it is given that we should labor for 6 days, but upon the seventh day we should take our rest, and not perform any work. For this day was given of the Lord unto man, that we might be relieved of those hardships we must endure. The fifth commandment being that we should honor our fathers and our mothers, for when we bring honor unto them, we bring honor upon all the generations of our people. The sixth commandment was that we should not kill, for it is not given that we should destroy these things which God hath created. The seventh commandment was that we should not commit adultery, for behold, when a man lieth with a woman who is given unto another man, he committeth adultery. For except she be anointed a holy woman, she may be given only unto one man. But if a woman who is not married should lie with a man, they cannot commit adultery. The eighth commandment being that we should not steal, for if the property of one is taken by another, it is not good. The ninth commandment was that we should not bear false witness against our neighbor. The 10th commandment was that we should not covet the property of our neighbor, for we should be content with that which the Lord hath given. Chapter 11. And I, Ahkman, did teach the people concerning the sacrifices which were offered unto God, after the manner spoken of in the great scroll. And there were many sacrifices which the people were to offer. And I spake unto them that the time had come that we should travel unto the temple, wherein we should offer our sacrifices. And I also spoke concerning the priesthood, with which those who held it should administer the temple and the church. And God commanded me to ordain those who were my children unto the order of God. But those who were the children of Gura, or the children of Kodal, or the children of Shirach, could not possess the priesthood. I did also teach unto the people concerning baptism, for God commanded the people that they should go into the water and come out again, and this should be a sign of that which would be fulfilled by the Son of God, who should come into the world. And I also spake unto the people concerning their homes, saying, You shall each build an altar in your homes, and it shall be in a sacred place, apart from the world. And there around it shall you gather in the veritable prayer, and pray unto God. And ye shall build your altars after this manner. For it shall be 2 takas, and half a butar in length, and it shall be 1 taka in width, and the height of it shall be 2 takas and half a butar. And it shall also be placed on a block, which is 2 1/2 butars in height. And this block shall also extend 1 taka in all directions from the base of the altar. Upon this block you shall kneel and pray facing the altar. Chapter 12. And behold, I, Ahkman, did witness unto the people that the manner in which the temple had been built was in all wise correct. For it had been built after the pattern which had been revealed unto my father, according to the records which he had received. For behold, after my father had received the word of God, and after we had discovered the cave of treasures, we did gather our kinsfolk, and did begin to build a temple. And we did build with the best materials we could acquire. And we did build the temple and decorate the interior with bamboo and with nara and with gold and with silver and all beautiful stones. Now this is the pattern after which we did build the temple. We did build a most holy place, and to the east of it did build a holy place. And on the doors between the most holy place and the holy place were engraved 2 trees, one on the one panel and one on the other panel, which trees do symbolize the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And to the east of the most holy place we had built a room. Now within this room doth stand a guard with a sword, which guarded the entrance to the most holy place. And the entrance to this room is to the east, and is entered in by a gate. Now this was the house, and to the east of the house we did build 2 pillars, and 1 pillar was made out of bronze, and the other was made out of brick. And we did write the most important parts of the law upon them. And to the east of the house was a bronze basin made, and it was placed within a walled court to the east. Also to the east in another walled court was built up an altar of unhewn stone. Now to the east and round about the house and the 2 walled courts was the upper court, and to the east and round about the upper court was the lower court. And within the walls of the upper court and also the lower court were 2 pedestals, one to the east and one to the west, and there were chambers along the northern wall, and also the southern wall, and thus the upper and lower courts were finished in an identical manner. Now behold, to the east of the lower court was a vestibule, which was also a gate. And it came to pass, I taught them that this was the manner in which the temple was completed, and all knew it was beautiful. And we did take the sacred writings and artifacts within the most holy place, and we did store the treasures of the people within the walls of the courts of the temple. Chapter 13. And it came to pass that we did build up cities in all the region round about, for our numbers had grown too many, and our people did find places of residence, and these were the names of our cities. And the city of Suran was the place of our temple, and to the north was the city of Set, and also to the north was the city of Abraham, and also to the north was the city of Zedek, and to the east was the city of Geral, and to the east was the city of Bori, and to the northeast was the city of Lasijah, and to the north was the city of Yapanyat, and to the east was the city of Srindam, and to the north was the city of Batas, and to the east was the city of the tower. For there was a tower built there that the people could see to a great distance. And these last cities were near to the place where Negameki taught my father, for it was a holy place unto us. Chapter 14. And we performed many rites of the temple, wherefore we were commanded by God to perform them, and we were required so that we may be obedient to God. And there are 7 in all, and they were known unto us as washing, and adoption, and sacrifices, and the teaching, and marriage, and ordination, and healing. For these things were commanded unto us by the Lord, for they were commanded in the writings we had received. I shall hereafter explain these rites. Chapter 15. Now we did adopt all those who desired into the church, meaning our tribe, and this we did that we might be one family, unified in all things. Now those who were adopted and had children, it was not required that their children be adopted, for they were adopted through their parents. And we were also commanded that those whose parents were not faithful in the law should be adopted into the church, so that they could receive a portion of an inheritance. And adoptions were also done by way of water, for after the man or woman had been washed, the priest would take them into the inner walled court. Within the walled court would stand either myself or my brothers Shirach or Kodal, or the husband of our sister Gura, for we were the patriarchs of our tribe. And he would fill the sado with water from the basin and sprinkle it upon the head of the person, and also upon the head of the patriarch. And he would grasp the head of both, the patriarch in his right and the person in his left hand. And he would place his thumb in the center of the forehead of both, one on the left and the other on the right. Thereafter the priest would pronounce the union of the two, this that they might be bound father to son or father to daughter. Now this thing was done as it was commanded us. Chapter 16. And it was commanded of us that we should wash all those who desire to enter our group, and the washings were done by way of water. Now behold, these washings were performed so that those who did unite with us were clean to begin anew. And we did also wash those priests who did to enter the sacred places of the temple, and they were washed from head to foot and purified. And as part of their washing, they were also anointed with sweet-smelling perfumes, and they were anointed with oil, and they did wash in a lesser manner every time they did enter the temple. Chapter 17. Now I speak concerning teaching of our people, for those who had been ordained priests were brought within the lower court, and therein they were instructed in all manner of spiritual things. Now after they did these things, that did take themselves and enter into the upper court, for within the upper court they were taught concerning the greater things they might do. Now it was after this manner that they did enter into each of the courts of the temple, and after this manner did they learn of the laws of God and his covenants with the righteous, and God shall uphold all those who look upon his laws to obey them. Chapter 18. Now behold, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto my brother Codal, saying, Codal, I the Lord speak unto you, for there are some parts of my word that have been rejected by your father Suran, for he rejected them because of the traditions of his heart, and also the traditions of the people. Now behold, I speak unto you, that you shall not condemn your father, for he was a great man, and he did perform my will with exactness, and he did do whatsoever I should command him. Now he hath made many mistakes, and he hath been reproved, but he is great in my sight, and he doth reside in the bosom of Abraham. Now behold, because of the weakness of men, he hath spoken many things which were influenced by his traditions. For behold, men do set up idols in their hearts, and I do speak unto them according to their idols. Now behold, you have inquired of me why it is that my servants in old times did have many wives and lesser wives, and you have not set up the traditions of your people in your heart like unto your father, for you are open to receive that which I shall command you. Now behold, I speak unto you concerning David and Solomon, for they did take unto them many wives and lesser wives, and they did take those which were not given unto them, and in this they did sin greatly, and it was an abomination in my sight. Now behold, I speak unto you concerning my servants Abraham and Jacob, for they did likewise have many wives and lesser wives, but behold, they took only those which were given unto them. And this I say unto you, that if a man taketh unto himself a wife, and she is given unto him of me, then it is good. But if a man taketh unto himself a wife, and she is not given unto him, nor he unto her, and even though they may have love one to another, it is not good, and an abomination, for he hath taken that which hath not been given unto him. Therein he hath robbed his brother. And if a man taketh another wife unto himself, and she is given unto him of me, then it is good. But if a man taketh another wife, and she is not given unto him, it is an abomination, and is not good. Now my servant, you shall cause a command to go forth, that all who would take a wife first go before the high priest or a priest, and he will determine if their marriage is according to my will. And if a man desireth to take unto himself another wife, or even many wives, he may do so if they are given unto him of me, and it shall be good, even though your father Suran did condemn such things, for those things were spoken according to his traditions and culture, and these were the words of the Lord unto Codal. Chapter 19. Now because of these things which were spoken unto Codal, a great many things were made clear, and a law went forth among our people. And this law was that, if man and a woman shall desire to be united in marriage, they should go forth into the lower court of the temple, and they should take themselves before a priest, and the priest should determine the will of the Lord concerning their marriage. And if the Lord shall agree to their marriage, they should be united together by the priest. But if the Lord shall not agree, they should depart their separate ways. And also it was written that if a man and a woman should desire to be united in marriage, and the man was already united in marriage, then they should take unto themselves into the lower court of the temple, and submit themselves to the will of the Lord through the priest. And if the Lord shall approve of their marriage, they will be united immediately. But if the Lord shall not approve their marriage, they should depart their ways separately. And it came to pass that there also went forth a law, that all those who were yet living and had been united in marriage previous to this law were to come forth with their husband or wife and stand before the priest. and the priest should seek the will of the Lord concerning their marriage. Now if the Lord shall approve their marriage, they should depart, knowing that the marriage they had previously entered into was according to the will of God. But if the Lord shall not approve, if they were to depart separately, and no more be united in marriage, for their marriage, which they had previously entered into, was not done according to the will of the Lord. Now also there was a law, that if a man desired a woman to be united in marriage with her, that he should go before the priest, and declare unto him that which he desired. And the priest should consult the will of the Lord, and if the Lord shall not approve of his desire, he should depart and hold his peace. But if the Lord shall approve his desire, then the priest should go forth and proclaim it unto the woman whom the man desired. And once within the house of the woman, he should again consult the will to the Lord. And if the Lord shall not approve that thing, then the priest shall depart and declare it unto the man. But if the Lord shall approve, then the priest should take the woman unto the temple and unite the two in marriage. Now behold, this law was also given for women, that a woman should make her declaration within the lower court of the temple unto a priest. And if it should be the will of the Lord, the priest would go unto the house of the man and consult again the will of the Lord. And if the Lord shall approve, then the man should be taken unto the lower court of the temple and be united with the woman. Now behold, there was also a law that a man and a woman should be united by declaration, meaning that if the voice of the Lord should come upon the high priest while he does administer in the temple, and shall declare unto him a man and a woman that were to be united in marriage, then he shall take himself out of the temple and into the lower court of the temple. And then he shall stand upon the eastward pedestal and loudly proclaim the names of the two who are to be united in marriage. And some of the priests of the temple shall depart out into the land of the man and the woman who were declared, and they shall go forth into their homes and inform them of what has been declared. Then they shall bring the man and woman into the lower court of the temple, and there they shall be bound one to another. Chapter 20. Now in these matters the will of the Lord was determined by way of the putim. For behold, the priest did take a vessel, and within the vessel were places 2 stones, and the stones were equal in size. Now one stone was white, and the other stone was black. And the priest would place his hand into the vessel and draw forth a stone. And if the Lord did guide his hand to select a white stone, then the Lord did approve the thing. And if the Lord did guide his hand to select a black stone, then the Lord did not approve that thing. And this was the manner that the will of the Lord was determined by the priests. Chapter 21. Now I write concerning 2 events which did transpire among the people, for I do include these, that there might be a witness of the power of the Lord. For behold, as I did minister within the most holy place, the voice of the Lord came upon me, saying, My servant, I have proclaimed that through my servant Lechem I should raise up a son, and this son shall do many mighty works, and go forth proclaiming my word. And I have proclaimed that Denari should be given unto him, and it is through her that the son of my servant Lechem should be raised. Now go forth and declare that Denari of the city of Elisha should be married unto Lechem of the city of Suran. And it came to pass that I took myself out of the most holy place, and went forth and stood upon the eastern pedestal of the lower court. And I declared with a loud voice that Denari of Elisha should be brought to be married to Lechem of Suran. And the priests went out from the upper court and unto the house of Denari. And behold, it was discovered by the priests that Denari had already been married unto her husband Kal, and they had 2 small children. But behold, they declared this thing unto her, and brought her and her husband unto the temple. And the priest came before me and proclaimed, Ahkman, the woman Denari, hath been brought forward, but behold, she hath already been given unto a man in marriage. And I went before her, and she spoke unto me, saying, Why have you declared this thing? For I do already have a husband, and he is my love, and our marriage was approved by the Lord. And it came to pass that I did enter into a chamber on the northern wall of the temple, and I inquired of the Lord. For I spake, saying, O Lord, how is it that you have proclaimed this thing? For the woman Denari hath already been given in marriage. And the Lord spake unto me, saying, I do know this thing. Now go and proclaim unto her the blessings I shall grant unto her for her faithfulness. For if she shall obey my words, she shall be blessed, and she shall be a mother of great promise, and her joy shall be greater than she can conceive. For even though this thing may be difficult, she shall find more happiness than if she shall disobey my word. And I did go forth and proclaim these things unto her. Now behold, Denari did cling unto her husband, and she wept greatly, and also her husband Kal did weep. And she did proclaim her love for him, and did refuse to obey the will of the Lord. And they departed the lower court of the temple together. Now it came to pass that after the space of many days, as Denari did labor in the field, a group of men from the unbelieving tribes came upon her, and they did demean her, and do all manner of evil unto her. And after they had done these things, they departed. And it came to pass that she conceived a child, and was despised in the eyes of her husband. And he cast her out from his house. And it came to pass that as she did wander in the roads beyond the city, she did strike her foot upon a stone, and she fell, and she was impaled upon a stick. Now when it was discovered what had happened, it was spoken widely among the people that Denari had been punished by the Lord, for she had disobeyed, and she had placed her own will above that of the Lord. Chapter 22. Now it came to pass that after the space of a year, Licham did marry a woman, and she bore him a daughter. And again, as I did labor within the temple, the voice of the Lord came yet upon me again, and proclaimed that Yalim should be given unto Lechem. For the Lord would yet cause that his promise unto Lechem should be fulfilled. And the priest did bring Yalim unto the lower court of the temple. And like Denari, she too was married to a husband. And I spoke unto the Lord, why have you commanded this thing? For are there not many women in all the cities of the people of Suran, and are they not beautiful and lovely to behold? Why then hath you commanded that this woman, who already hath been taken as a wife, should be given? And the Lord spake unto me, saying, it is my will that they shall be united. Now go forth and proclaim unto her my words, that she may believe. And I went and told unto her those things which the Lord had spoken unto me. Now Yalim had come into the temple with her husband Talat, and she wept because of that thing which had been declared. And she took her husband into a chamber of the northern wall, and they cried mightily unto the Lord, and they came forth again into the lower court. And she spake unto me, saying, I do not know why the Lord has commanded this thing, for surely the Lord knoweth that I love my husband, and that I love our children. For how can I depart from them? How can I leave those who are the objects of my love? And she did proclaim her love unto her husband. And it came to pass that she spoke again unto me, saying, I do not know how I shall bear this thing, for my heart doth break. But behold, I shall do whatsoever the Lord shall command. And I shall be married unto this man Licham, for I know that the will of the Lord shall not lead me in the wrong. Now she did embrace her husband Talat, and did kiss him. And after these things he departed out of the lower court. Now it was at this time that the priests brought forth Licham into the lower court, and they also brought forth his wife Emilah. Now Emilah was greatly distressed, for she desired that she alone should be the wife of her husband, and she did not desire that her husband should take another woman to wife. Now behold, I spoke unto them concerning that which had transpired, and Emilah did weep with many tears. Now behold, Licham spoke, saying, My beloved Emilah, you do know of the love I have for you. You have been my wife, and I have proven my love unto you. But behold, the Lord hath required this thing of us, and we must do his will. And I do assure you that not one particle of my love shall depart from you, and you shall not be lessened in my sight, nor shall I diminish anything from you. And he did also speak unto Yalim, saying, I know that we have never before met, and I know that this thing is greatly distressing to you. For if it was my will, I would not cause this great hardship to come upon you. But it is not my will that hath declared this thing, for it is the will of the Lord. And I know that your desire is unto your husband, and I shall not strive to replace him in your heart, but I shall give my love unto you. And I shall give even that same love which I have given unto my wife unto you. And I shall serve you all the days of my life, as I shall do also with Emilah. And I shall do these things, not to gain favor in your eyes, but because it is my desire to do these things. And neither of you shall be greater than the other in my eyes, nor shall one be favored above the other. And it came to pass that I, Ahkman, did appoint Yamil, and did unite Licham and Yamil in marriage, and Emilah did depart out of the lower court and return unto her home. And Licham did take Yalim into the chamber of the western wall of the lower court, and they did consummate their marriage, as was our law. And Yalim did conceive, and she bore a son, and his name was Gubir. And thus the promise of the Lord was fulfilled unto Licham. Now behold, I write concerning the life of Emilah and Yalim. For even though they did have great struggle in this thing which was commanded, they did come to love each other as wives of Licham. And they did serve each other and care for their children unitedly. And now because Lakim was an honorable man, and to fulfill all his vows, the love of Yalim was increased towards him, and she did come to love him greatly. Now she did still retain love for her husband Talah and her children of him, and they did visit her within the house of Lakim, and her children rejoiced to see her. But behold, Talah did also marry another woman, and he did love her. And I have heard Yalim come into the outer court of the temple and pray unto the Lord, and she hath thanked the Lord for causing that she should be the wife of her beloved Lakim. And she hath received a greater joy and happiness than she would have had she remained with her husband Talat. And likewise Talat did receive a greater joy, and Amillah did receive a greater joy for the blessings which had been bestowed upon her. And Lakim was a strong man in the Lord, and he was greatly blessed, for his joy was increased. For these are the blessings which shall come forth unto all those who obey the voice of the Lord. Chapter 23. Now as pertaining to the ordination of men in the priesthood of God, when it was revealed to the prophet Kodal what office a man of my sons should take, I, the high priest, being dressed in the garments of my office, to take them into the temple, and they were washed with pure water and anointed with most holy oil, and afterwards they were clothed in the clothing of their office, and I did lay my hands upon them, and in the name of the Most High God I did ordain them into that office which they had appointed. And when any of the children of Shirach were appointed to any office in the government, they were likewise washed and ordained, they being clothed in the garments of their office. Chapter 24. And all those who were sick came into the temple and were healed. And those unto whom it was given that they might heal by the Spirit would enter within, and those who were sick would enter with them into a side chamber, and they would be healed by the Spirit. And also those people who desired to be healed were cleansed in water, and they were pronounced clean by a priest. Chapter 25. And behold, it was after this manner that people did gather unto the temple, and we did worship therein. And all those who had believed were adopted as the children of Suran, and we did call ourselves the people of Suran, and we were a righteous people. Chapter 26. Now behold, this I do write, so that those who read it may know concerning those things which I have seen. For behold, the Lord God liveth, and he shall come to redeem his people. I have seen the Lord within the most holy place in the temple, and he spoke unto me. He is the mighty Lord of all the world, and all power is his. Now it shall come to pass that we shall come into the world, and he shall bring light into the world. I prophesy unto you, my people, that the King of the Jews and the King of the Gentiles, even the King of kings, shall come into the world. His kingdom shall be established forever, and none shall lay it to waste. He shall throw down oppressors and raise up those who are oppressed. And you shall know his time has come, when a light in the sky shall appear, and it shall appear as the crown of the lion, and it shall guide you to the place of his birth. Chapter 27. Now behold, I speak unto you the words of Enoch, for truly he was a holy man. Now these are the words which he spake. And I beheld a great gathering of people, even beyond number, and they stood before the Lord. Now round about the Lord I beheld 4 angels, and their names were given unto me by that angel which did accompany me. For all those hidden things were made known unto me. And I heard the voices of the 4 angels, for behold, they did praise the Lord and his glory. The first voice blessed the Lord of hosts for evermore. The second voice blessed the elect one, and remainder of the elect who are after the order of the Lord of hosts. And the third voice did offer up prayers for those who dwell upon the earth in the name of the Lord of hosts. And the fourth voice did battle against the evil spirits, that they might not come before the Lord of hosts, for they were forbidden. And I did inquire of the angel who went with me, saying, Who are these 4 angels that I have beheld and heard? And he spake unto me, saying, Michael is the first, for he is patient and merciful. Raphael is the second, for he is charged with the diseases and afflictions of men. Gabriel is the third, for he doth command the powers. And Phanuel is the fourth, for he is charged with the repentance and hope of those men who do gain life everlasting. Now these are the 4 angels of the Lord of hosts, whose voices shall be heard. Chapter 28. And it came to pass that I beheld great ropes were given unto the angels, and they moved as it were flying into the north. And I asked of the angel, For what purpose have they been given ropes and flown to the north? And he spoke unto me, saying, They have flown forth to measure, and also spoke, saying, And that which they shall measure is the righteous. For the ropes of the righteous are given to the righteous. this that they might hold themselves fast to the name of the Lord of hosts for eternity. And the saints shall gather with the saints according to the measure of their faith, that this will strengthen their righteousness. For these measures shall show the secrets of the hidden places of the earth, and also those who have died in the desert, and also those who were eaten by animals, and those who were eaten by fish in the sea, so that those people may return and be restored on the great day of the elect one. For behold, not one shall be lost to the Lord of hosts, and not one shall be destroyed. All those who live in the heavens were given a commandment, and also power, and they were given a single voice, and also a light, as it were fire. With their words they blessed one, and they praised him with wisdom. And they were wise in their words and in the spirit. And it came to pass that the Lord of hosts did seat the elect one on a throne of glory, and he shall judge the works of all the holy ones above in heaven. And the remainder of their doings shall be measured. His countenance shall rise and judge the secret doings according to the word of the Lord of hosts, and all of them shall speak of one accord, that they might bless and make holy and glorify the name of the Lord of hosts. He shall call forth all the hosts of heaven, even all those which are holy, even the host of God. He shall call forth the cherubim and the seraphim and the ophnim, and also the powers and the principalities and the dominions and the thrones, even the elect one, and all other great ones of the earth and sea. And on that great day they shall have one voice, and they shall bless and glorify and raise up in the spirit of faith, and the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit of patience, and the spirit of mercy, and the spirit of judgment, and the spirit of peace, and the spirit of goodness. For they shall shout with one voice, saying, Blessed is he, for the name of the Lord of hosts shall be blessed for evermore. All those who have not waited in the heavens shall praise him, and all those holy ones shall praise him. And all the elect who are in life shall praise him, and all the spirits of light who shall honor and purify shall praise him, and all flesh shall praise him above that which they can give. For behold, great is the mercy of the Lord of hosts, and he hath great patience. Wherefore all his works, even all that hath been created by him, he hath revealed unto the righteous in the name of the Lord of hosts. Chapter 29. I beheld a dream, and I will show it unto you, my child. Then Enoch spake unto his son Methuselah, saying, My son, hear the words of my voice. Hearken unto these things. For when I was yet a young man, I saw a dream, and a white bull came out from the earth, and after it came a cow, and with the cow came two other bulls, and one of the bulls was black, and the other was red. Now behold, the black bull attacked the red bull, and did chase it until I could not see the red bull. But now the black bull did grow, and also the cow, and I saw many oxen come forth from he which was after the manner of the black bull. And now the cow did go forth from the first bull in search of the red bull, but she found him not. And the first bull came and comforted her. Now after this the cow bore a white bull, and she also bore black bulls and black cows. And also in my vision I beheld that the white bull did grow, and did also bear many more white bulls, and there were many generations of white bulls after him. Chapter 30. Now I did receive a vision, which I taught unto the people, and an angel did come unto me, and did say, Follow me, and I followed him. Now behold, I was caught up into a vision, and it came to pass that I inquired of the angel whither we were to go. And he said unto me, We go to see the fruitfulness of your seed. Wherefore I did see clouds before me. And the angel said, Behold, and I saw the clouds depart before me, and I saw thousands of islands. Yea, some were great, and others were small. And the angel said unto me, Behold, this is the land of your fathers. Yea, it is even the same land wherein you do reside. And behold, the land you see before you is that same land that your seed shall inherit. And it came to pass that we did draw closer into the islands, insomuch that I could see the inhabitants thereof. And the angel said unto me, Behold, and I beheld the land was filled with people, and they were exceedingly poor, and many did starve because of the lack of food. And yea, the land will filled with filth and waste, even so much that many beautiful places had become ugly and wasted, and many people had become drunk, and did lose themselves in drink. Wherefore they did harm their wives and young ones, and they did waste their money in drink. And yea, their families did starve because of this, and diseases did come upon many people, and they were struck with many afflictions. And yea, even the very air they did breathe was tainted. And now the angel did say unto me, Behold, and I beheld that the leaders, that the people did elect rule over them, did take and steal from the people. and they did wax fat upon the work of the people, and behold, many others from distant lands who were rich to come upon my seed. And they did take unto themselves wives of the young daughters of my seed. And it came to pass that the daughters of my seed did see the riches that were bestowed upon the wives of the foreign men, and they did desire these riches insomuch as they did desire to give themselves unto those aged men, so that they would have riches bestowed upon them. And the angel said unto me, Behold, and I beheld that the lands and waters which had once been full of fruit and animals that were good for eating had become barren, insomuch as the people did struggle to get food for themselves. Chapter 31. And it came to pass that the angels did say unto me, Behold, and I beheld that from among my seed a book did come forth, and the book did give the people courage. Wherefore all those who did accept the book and take courage from it and gather behind it did become a great and mighty people. And the prosperity of these people was great, and it came to pass that the Lord did bless them exceedingly, insomuch that there was no hunger among them, and they did not wander naked for the lack of clothes. And behold, they were blessed with many luxuries. And I did ask of the angel, What is this book that goeth forth among my seed? And the angel spake unto me, saying, This book is the record of the inhabitants of this land. Yea, it is even the record of the promises God hath made with the people of this land. And this book doth tell your seed of the prosperity and blessings God hath laid up for them. And it is these blessings that doth give them courage to fight the poverty that hath engulfed them. And the angel said, Behold, and I beheld, there arose a strong and brave people in the northern part of the land. And it came to pass that the angel did speak unto me, saying, Behold, and I beheld, and I saw the great people who followed the book, that they did build a temple unto the Lord. And the pattern for the temple was taken from the book that they did follow, and they did worship the Lord in the temple. And the angel said unto me, Behold, and I beheld that the remainder of my seed did look upon those who did follow the book, and there were those who did desire to unite with them because of the words within the book that did testify of the Son of God. And there were others still who desired to unite with them because of the great prosperity that those who followed the book did gain. And there were even those who did not desire to unite with the followers of the book because of their stiff-neckedness, and they refused to join and fought against the book. Wherefore some of these did have much power to lose because of the people who followed the book. And it came to pass that those who had much power to lose were those who had waxed fat from the labors of the poor. And the angel did say unto me, Behold, and I looked, and I saw that the Spirit of God was with those who followed the book, and they did overpower those who desired power and money. And God did give control over the land unto those who followed the book. And the angel said unto me, Behold, and I beheld that anywhere the people did follow the book, there was great prosperity, and there was no poor among the people. And the people did form a great empire that did include the lands of my fathers, and even some of the other isles of the sea. And God did give unto them even parts of the distant lands that had previously spoiled my seed. And it came to pass, I beheld that all the lands they did possess were exceedingly beautiful, and all those places that had been turned to filth and waste were restored to their prior beauty. And the lands were filled with gardens and forests, and the rivers and oceans were clear and pure, and all manner of life did thrive therein. And they were bounteous and filled with creatures that were useful for food, and no one starved for the lack of food. And I beheld that the cities which had been filled with dirt and waste did become clean and pure, and the entire land was beautiful. And my seed, who had loathed their dark skin, insomuch that they did call it a curse, did come to look upon their skin as a blessing and a sign of a prosperous people. And they did come to a knowledge that their darkened skin had been given to them by God as a sign of the blessings that he had promised them. And I saw many people did flow unto the land of my seed, and they did look for prosperity there. Wherefore in the distant lands there was much poverty. Yea, even the whole earth was engulfed in poverty because of the secret orders that had seized control of every land. And the people who followed the book had shaken off the poverty that was inflicted upon them, and became even as a beacon shining forth unto all the world. And those aged and wicked men who had preyed upon the young daughters of my seed were shunned, insomuch that they had to travel to other lands to continue their abominations and wickedness. And it came to pass that the people did build many beautiful structures and edifices, and the Spirit of God was strong with the seed of my brethren, and they had become a righteous people, and God did bless them with many riches and prosperity. And it came to pass that I did follow the angel back to the land which I had left, and the vision closed before me. And the angel did instruct me to write the things which I had seen. Now behold, the angel of the Lord did depart from before me, and I was left with both sorrow and joy. Sorrow, because I knew that there must come a time that my seed would be preyed upon and suffer many afflictions. But I did feel a great joy, because shortly thereafter a time must come that the people who followed the book would bring a time of great prosperity, peace, and victory among my seed. And those things which I had seen did make clear the promises God made unto me, and it came to pass that I did write the things which I had seen. Chapter 32. And I did prophesy many more things, and the people did rejoice in the glories of God, and those things he had promised them. And now I did desire that we should teach these things unto the tribes in the south, and I did design to go unto them to teach. For behold, I no longer desire that the tribes should remain separate, but that we should unite our strength. And I did gather many supplies and food, and I spoke unto my son Arakim, and I did call on him to join me in my venture unto these people. And Arakim did agree to go with me, and we will depart into the land southward at dawn. And thus ended the record of Ahkman. Chapter 33. Now behold, that after Ahkman was made a high priest in his 34th year, he beheld a vision, and lo, this vision was recorded upon shafts of bamboo, and it went forth among the people, and it was known as the Book of the Lords. And these are the words which were written within. I, Ahkman, beheld the vision, and I saw it was of a distant time, and the things which I beheld were strange. For I saw in that time the people shall walk with strange garments, and they shall ride within beasts of metal. And it shall come to pass that 5 Detu shall be raised up, and they shall establish a people. And these 5 Detu shall be loyal and honorable and mighty and brave and wise. The people who follow this Detu shall have peculiar ways and words. They shall stand contrary to the evil ways of the world. And I also beheld that the 5 Detu shall be raised up from poverty, and they shall come from a distant land. The first Detu shall struggle for many years to build up this people, and he shall write a book that shall be a foundation for the works of the people. At the beginning of their reign, the world shall not know them or praise them, save it be those who shall hearken unto this prophecy, and they shall cause the weak to be made strong. Wherefore they shall become known unto the world for their charity and greatness, and also for their power and their wrath. I also beheld that these 5 Detu shall live after the ways of the fathers and the righteous kings. They shall command, and armies will obey. Rivers will be diverted, mountains shall be destroyed, and dry seas shall be refilled. Their clans shall start small, just a few, but they shall grow, and their cities shall fill the earth. I beheld that each Detu shall possess a throne, and a stone, and also a sword. And these shall be symbols of their power, but behold, their power comes not from themselves, but from God. For his spirit shall be upon them, insomuch as they maintain his paths, and they shall govern from a palace, and their rule shall be just. I also beheld that any man or woman who should join their clan should become rich and prosperous, and bring about many good things in the world. And it came to pass, I beheld the book which the first Detu shall write, and it shall form the foundation, and those who follow these Detu will help the descendants of this land to establish a mighty kingdom, and restore the greatest that shall be lost from them. Chapter 34. And I did also see the armies of the kingdoms, for they shall become great even beyond number, and they shall be employed in all manner of employment. Some shall fight in war, and others shall aid the poor, yet others shall rebuild places that have been destroyed. They shall organize their armies according to 6. And I saw the armor of the armies, and it shall be as the armor of God. Wherefore they shall wear the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, and they shall have the buckler of faith, and also the belt of truth, and even the boots of preparation, and their weapons of the Spirit. And it shall be after this manner that they shall arm themselves and go to battle. Chapter 35. Now behold, I did see the residence of the Detu, and they shall be a great palace, and there shall be a great tower in the midst, and surrounding it shall be 5 towers. And also around these shall be 5 lesser towers, and also around these shall be 5 lesser towers. Also shall there be many minor towers, and bridges and stairs, and there shall be gardens and pools, and forests and animals, for the people shall play and rest therein. And I beheld that there shall be statues which guard the palace. Now I beheld there shall be 5 main gates, and the clansman from each clan shall enter by way of the gates. And I also beheld that there shall be many great rooms, and there shall be many pillars and walls, and also many plants and animals, even of every kind. And there shall be waters and streams. And I beheld there shall be women to greet those who did enter therein, and they shall be beautiful, and they shall come from all nations. For they shall be naked and not ashamed, and they shall be bound by golden rings. And within this palace shall be many who shall work to support the people and the armies, and many shall come within to be healed, and beautiful women shall tend them and comfort them. And there shall be rooms where the visitors shall gather and meet, and many shall come to make arrangements with the people of the clans. And all those who shall meet therein shall be attended to by beautiful women in all manner of clothes. And there shall also be many secret chambers, and some shall be large and others small. And some secret chambers shall contain pools, and others shall contain altars, and still others shall contain vast treasures of gold and silver and all manner of riches to sustain the clans. And there shall be many residences, some large and some small. And I beheld the pools of water within the palace, for they shall be very vast. And the people who shall live therein shall go to bathe. And there shall be waterfalls and all manners of pools, and within shall be comforts and fires and mats and perfumes and oils and all manner of things for the care of the body. And there shall also be rooms for education and training, and also many ceremonies. And these rooms shall be filled with beautiful things, even gold and silver and plants and water and mats and chairs and thrones. And 5 of the rooms shall be set apart, and one shall look as if it were the clear stones, the other shall be filled with fire, and another shall be filled with vapor. And the 4 shall contain stones, and the 5th shall contain water. There shall also be rooms for government. There shall be a large chamber for the council of the 5-day 2. It shall be under a dome of stone. There shall be 5 statues which shall guard the entrances. In the center of the chamber shall be a large table with 5 sides, one side for each day 2. And there shall be 5 thrones, and the thrones and the table shall be decorated with many symbols and carvings of intricate work. Another chamber shall be more vast than the first, and it shall be for the council of lesser day 2, and they shall also have tables and thrones. I also saw the chamber of the judges, and there shall be large table and 5 thrones for the judges. And thus I did see the palace in all its beauty and splendor. For behold, people from all the world shall come to behold the beauty of the palace. And all those who shall unite themselves with the kingdom shall be able to partake of the riches contained therein. And they shall find joy in the company of the beautiful women and slaves who shall be dressed in diverse clothes. Now this palace shall be located in a beautiful place. Chapter 36. Now behold, these day 2 shall be good and honest men. They shall live according to the codes and oaths which they shall have taken. They shall live with pure hearts and honest words. No one shall ever have reason to doubt the word of one of the day 2. The 5-day 2 shall be great respecters of women. They shall hold women sacred in their hearts, for they shall know the value of women in God's eyes, and they shall fight for the honor of women and defend the ones they love against all manner of dishonor. These good men shall live after the manner that the Lord commanded Abraham, Jacob, and Moses. For as with these ancient men, they shall have many wives, and they shall love and honor each wife. For they shall make them queens, and they shall also have many concubines, and they shall care for each concubine. They shall make them princesses. And I saw the many of the wives of each day 2, and many of them, before they shall become a wife, shall fear that they should commit whoredoms. But the Lord shall send his comforter upon them, and he shall make them known unto them that they shall not have transgressed his laws. These women should not fear, nor should they be jealous, nor should the wives of this day 2 be fearful or jealous. For behold, the word of the Lord teaches that in a day 7 women shall cleave to one man, and whatsoever woman shall marry one of the day 2, God ordained that she should become a queen, and she shall be loved and cared for. The world shall adore her and envy her, and any woman who shall marry one of the day 2 shall become rich, and she shall not have to work or toil except in those things she shall desire to do. And she shall have beautiful clothes and jewels, gold and silver, and she shall not have a lack of money. And any woman who shall marry one of the day 2 shall have her marriage bound eternally, that they should be married even after death. And she shall have the most beautiful and solemn wedding, and the palace of her wedding shall be filled with gold and flowers and whiteness. Both she and her husband shall wear beautiful clothing. Then they shall be crowned with gold. Chapter 37. The 5 kingdoms of the day 2 shall gather in secret. They shall go to the great nation, and there they shall fight for the liberty of the people. They shall form a new nation out of the old, a nation of the desert. The 5 kingdoms shall be hired again to conquer the east. They shall unify the tribes, and their fight shall rage for the freedom of the people. The weak ones shall be made strong, and that great city shall be made bright. They shall go into the heavens, and shall travel to the realm. They shall have many metal beasts, which shall take them there. With their war beasts they shall descend from the sky. They shall fall like meteors upon their enemies. Chapter 38. Now I saw many people who shall join the kingdoms. They shall come from many countries and cities. They shall join in families and be made a brother or sister, and they shall take a vow as a sign of their joining. For inasmuch as they shall do so, they shall receive a new name by which they shall be known. And when they shall join, they shall be welcomed into one of the kingdoms and into a family, and they shall be made equal with their brothers in the ways of earthly goods. For no one shall possess more than his brother, and thus there shall be no poor people, and all shall be made rich equally. And thus ended the book of the Lords, which was written by our father Ahkman.